Quite often, events, conferences and meetings can be something of a one-way street. Endless presentations with people just being talked at, when really what they want more than anything is
dialogue.
Yes, dialogue.
The next part of the emotional element of the Purple Monster PIE model is going to take a look at
dialogue
and participation.
So it goes without saying that a truly memorable event is much more of a two-way street, actively involving the people who are present and making the content as engaging as possible.
So, what should we do?
Well, at the start of the day, establish that you want people to contribute, participate, and that dialogue, thoughts and opinions are not only welcome,
Well, but that reminds me.
but actually encouraged. You want to encourage people to
I
know
have
that every contribution is viable.
There's something I want to...
The thing is, it's really important to give people space and time and freedom to voice their opinions, whether they're welcome or not. Is there something the matter?
Be careful that your conference or meeting isn't railroaded by the loudest voice. You may want to use a skilled or professional facilitator, for example, to make sure that everyone feels confident to make their contribution.
What if people have questions?
It's very simple. You answer them. You especially answer them on the day if you can, but if not, you'll take an opportunity to answer them after the conference. And remember too that some people might not be able to make the actual day, so they'll be interested in hearing the answers as well.
There was one particular event that we ran where there were a lot of very tricky questions, and to make sure that they were constantly in sight, all the questions were written on cards, which were hung on strings, which were suspended underneath helium balloons. So the cards, the questions, constantly floated in front of people's faces so they could never be out of sight.
One other thing I have to wonder about is, what about people that don't want to join in? You'll often come across people who zone out and don't really want to participate. What you must make sure is that you give them an equal opportunity to get involved. Find ways that they can interact with or discuss a topic or challenge. Oi! How do you think they should do that? That's another thing. Don't put people on the spot. Instead, let them work together, build relationships, and be able to take a hands-on topic that needs to be addressed. Remember, the right sort of session gets the right kind of dialogue.
There was a session that we ran where we needed to address the company's messages and value cycle. So we engaged people in participative exercises where they learned all about storytelling, about sticky messages, about creating headlines. And we took the headlines and gave them to our on-site artist who included them in the live scribe of the event. You remember that one?
I do indeed. And I remember that we asked the participants to come up with predictable, stretch and revolutionary solutions to their particular challenges. We included things like a maze exercise. We asked them to go through the process of making toast. But these exercises were participative and interactive. And what they did is allow people to connect to the messages.
Personally, together and as a team. Each session had a built-in time to discuss things with honest and open dialogue, and afterwards the teams came together into established working groups that allowed them to continue debating the messages that they'd heard during the event.
And on the day, importantly, we gave people time to reflect and to write down their reflections in a journal.
So, to recap, first of all, set up a participative atmosphere at the start of the day. Create the kind of environment where people feel that their contributions are welcome and encouraged.
Make content-based sessions as interactive as possible and allow time for reflection and maybe a journal.
Make sure they're inclusive. Set aside give people time to reflect upon as well as discuss what they've heard. Is there anything else?
Yeah, there is. Remember, if people ask questions, give them an answer.
Thanks for listening.
Thank you.